Hello, hello. How's it going? This is Kiva. This is the Four Corners Podcast. And today we are going to talk about AEW Collision because it hasn't happened yet, but it's right around the corner. So it's a good time to talk about it. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the upcoming card for the show. And then we'll talk about, or I'll just, talk about who I'm excited to see. But, just to start things off, who are you excited to see on Collision? Because there's a lot of good names that we haven't seen in a while. You can drop that in the comments. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about the whole show itself. If you think it's going to be good, if you think it's not going to be so hot, let all your thoughts out in the comments, and feel free to like and share and subscribe and all of that stuff. And we are going to look at this card. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to have CM Punk versus FTR versus Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold. Then you're going to have the AEW TNT Championship on the line with Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. Then we're going to have Miro, who's I'm highly invested in and glad to see returning, versus someone. It'll probably be like a squash match or something. And then Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. So that's really cool because you'll see the New Japan Strong Women's Champion versus the AEW Women's Champion. That's exciting. And then we'll have Buddy Matthews versus Andrade El Idolo. And then it says we'll hear from CM Punk, whatever that means. I'm sure you will, like, after the match. I don't know. Is it supposed to be 2 hours? I think it's supposed to be a 2-hour show. It looks like it with the amount of matches. So maybe he'll be the first thing that's on the show. I could see that being very likely. So I guess let's do some predictions. Do we think it's a good card? I do. I mean, I really like a lot of the people that are going to be on there. I like FTR. I like Miro. I like Andrade. I like Willow Nightingale. Sky Blue is pretty cute. So, and also Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. I mean, I really like Tony Storm after the last New Japan Strong pay-per-view. I forget if I uploaded anything about that, but she was, helping out her BF. Is it her boyfriend or her husband? Oh, it is her husband, Juice Robinson, because that was the whole thing. The guy was like, I don't know, your wife might turn me straight, because he was actually like a gay wrestler. I forgot his name. Anyways, if I remember it, I don't know. Maybe I'll drop it in a comment, or maybe I'll look it up and take a pause and mention it later on. But anyways, back to the card predictions. Let's start from the bottom up. Buddy Matthews versus Andrade. I feel like Andrade is going to win that because, this is his first time on TV in a while. I think the hardest one to catch is obviously Miro versus the TBA, the to be announced person. I don't know if, who's that match could go anyway, really, honestly. I'm thinking Miro is going to come out on top. He might do it. He might pull it out. Obviously, I'm joking. That's probably one of the shortest matches on the card, when you don't even know who he's going up against. And I'm sure it's going to be intentionally like that up into Saturday. I don't think that's going to change. If it does, I'll actually be surprised about that. But I think the point is that no matter who it is, they're going to lose against Miro. So there's that. Then we have Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. And I think Willow's going to win because I think they have to make... I don't know if they have to make the New Japan Strong Championship look strong, or the champion look strong. But it would be a nice babyface win. This is a match that really could go either way. So I don't know. I guess the outsiders have enough steam to lose a match. So I'm going to say that the two on the left, and even if they win, Sky Blue and Willow, it doesn't mean there might not be some after, post-match shenanigans with the spray paint, and maybe Saraya comes out, does some stuff, and all three of them are on the ground, and then maybe Hikaru Shida has to come out. I don't know. Save the day. We'll see. AEW TNT Championship match. Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. I guess we'll go back afterwards and kind of talk about which one we're more or most excited to see. Let me ask you right now, which of these matches so far are you most excited to see? Drop that in the comments as well. AEW TNT Championship match, Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. Pretty sure they're just feeding Luchasaurus to Wardlow. But that's cool. It's the least that they can do for ruining this man. I tell you, after just the way they've booked him has really, brought down his momentum for me as a viewer. I think if I was at a live event, it would be a bit different. You chant, do all the, say all the stuff, get excited. But I think at home, it hasn't been the same since having him lose at pivotal moments where he should have won. So I'll get back to that. But lastly, we have CM Punk and FTR versus Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold. Now, I want to see this match because CM Punk will be going against Bullet Club, in a way, and to me that's pretty cool. But I'm also a big I like Jay White. I'm a big Jay White fan. Also, Juice fucking Robinson. The juice will be loose on Saturday. I just love using OJ references for Juice Robinson. Rock hard, Oh boy, if you don't know about these people and you just hear me say rock hard and I'm talking about a bunch of men, you're probably going to be worried, but that's his catchphrase that he says. Anyways, it's it was wild at first, but it's funny now. FTR, big fan of them. One of my favorite tag teams. They might be my favorite. No, they're my second favorite AEW tag team because the Acclaim comes first. But yeah, FTR is really up there for me. And then of course Samoa Joe. I'm a big fan of Samoa Joe. So I mean on paper this match, I should be really invested in it, or really excited to see it. But it's a match for CM Punk to come back and be in the ring. So I don't know if that kind of deflates it or stalls my excitement for it a little bit. So since we've made this proper segue, what match are we most excited to see? So I guess let's start back from the bottom. Buddy Matthews versus Andrade Idolo. That seems like a cool match. I'm just excited to see Andrade, but that could be they're both really good wrestlers, right? So that could be a really exciting match to watch. If you haven't watched AEW yet, or you're not, you want to be convinced about tuning into Collision, I think that could be a good match to watch. Pretty technical and just seeing different styles, and that'd be pretty awesome. Sky Blue and Willow versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. I'm imagining that this is going to be a feel-good match, but I really like Willow Nightingale. And I also like seeing the New Japan Strong Championship on AEW programming. So I'm kind of invested in this one, to be honest with you. Kind of pretty invested, actually. Miro, definitely invested in this. This guy, man, Rusev Day, shoot him to the moon. This man deserves his, what do people say, comeuppances or whatever. Like, he deserves whatever, his flowers. He needs gold. You know, it's been a while since he's had gold. It was the TNT Championship. They could definitely put the International Championship on him. I hate that name, but whatever. They could put the AEW International Championship on him. I think that would be good. See him, you know, beat up orange juice again. And sorry, almost had a yawn or something. I don't know. And then Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. I like Christian. I think it's cool that he's backing up Luchasaurus. I've also felt, I've mentioned this, I felt deflated by the way that they have booked Wardlow. And it's just kind of like, you know, at the time it was like, what in the F are you doing? You know? And they cut his hair too. And I feel like anytime like the guy starts losing, he cut his hair. Like, it's like a Samson effect. You know, I don't know what your, you know, who's listening and what your Bible knowledge is, but you know, Samson cuts his hair, loses all his strength. Kind of feels like that ish. And I'm not talking about like as in what's supposed to be trying to be conveyed on TV. I'm just saying, you know, the way they have booked him really deflated some momentum. So I don't get, you know, we're at the point where he's TNT champion now. That's great. He should have been it sooner with less fuckery, but oh well, we're here. And I guess they've done enough up to this point to make him exciting, but like also his matches are kind of like formulaic, right? And I feel like that's another thing. Like, if they were formulaic and they had given him the gold when he was supposed to get it, then I think, you know, people could still ride that wave. But it's like, since he didn't have it, or he's been, you know, going through these back and forths for the TNT Championship, and now that he has it, I feel like it's more noticeable. Like, you know, he does some power moves and then he just power bombs you like 3 times and then the match is over, you know? And I feel like that's what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be a struggle to get the first power bomb and the second power bomb on Luchasaurus. Maybe he'll kick out of one or, you know, something, but yeah, it's like, I'm not as excited for this match as I am to see Miro and maybe even Willow. So there's that. But I like Wardlow, and, you know, I hope they just, like, you know, don't fuck around with his booking. And I don't know what it's like backstage or like making people happy, but I do believe that you need to think about how people are viewing it, like when they're watching TV, you know, because there are just some things that don't make sense. And despite being in the position to, you know, like say that you know what you're doing, I think that you can just afford to make mistakes because you're a big show. And this is for WWE too. I mean, you can make mistakes, or you can, you know, do things that are unfavorable for viewers because they will return, because they're big shows, and, you know, you're their option for wrestling. Like, that's this, you know, large scale or mainstream, if you want to say. So, lastly, CM Punk and FTR versus Samoa Joe and Bullet Club Gold. I want to see it. I don't know if, like, in terms of invested, you know, I'm invested in FTR, but like I said, I also like Jay White and OJ Simpson. So I don't particularly know, like, if I'm rooting for someone in this match. I really like 5 out of the 6 people in it, and I'm okay with one person in it. So, and I am intrigued to see what happens when this one person comes back. So, I have no dislike against CM Punk for sure. I have no dislike. I'm definitely not as excited as the first time around when he, came back to wrestling and came to AEW, but it's also because his like video packaging has kind of been a little lackluster too. And I don't know what he's been doing backstage or if he's been pissing people off, but I just feel like you haven't been able to get a proper build to this match with him. Because, like, I think Warner Brothers demanded that, they needed to start, like, you know, showing him on TV, or they needed to list him for Chicago. And there were things that he said or did that made Tony Khan Tony Khan not want to do that. It just seems like, this could have been built a bit better, more properly. And then the promo he gave on Dynamite was just like, I don't know what I'm going to say when I get back. And it's like, great. You're just kind of riding on the fact that you can be controversial, but we know that there's a lot more story past, but maybe diving into the Elite would be a little too real. And maybe he can't do that because maybe the point of Collision and is that, he kind of gets his own area to be him, and on Dynamite the Elite will be the Elite. And so maybe these are supposed to be like separate, almost kind of like a brand split. So maybe there's reasons why he's not like, why he can't really go into the Elite or like rip into them. At least in terms of kayfabe. I mean, in real life, I'm sure he's gonna keep being Phil. He's gonna keep being CM Punk and say what he wants to say. Although, there are forces at work trying to make sure that he doesn't open his mouth too much or do any Instagram stories, I guess. So that's how I feel about that main event. Someone said that Rampage had a better card. I think maybe we'll take a break and we'll compare this to Rampage for a second. So let's do that. You can, I'll put in some music or something. I don't know. All right.